I think we're recording now. Yay!
Oh, look at that. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, things are weird on this side when it's on this side. You're the
Yeah.
one.
Well, I still have a delay. My avatar still has a delay. The uh, any anytime I look to the side, if I try to look at my other monitor, he just goes, a
Oh,
toy.
well, the delay's gone now. Mine's pretty.
Oh,
Wow. All you had to do was hit record, and all of a sudden the delay's gone.
there you go.
Oh shit.
Anyway, yeah, there's no delay on my avatar on my screen, but in the stream
Yeah,
it's
in
delayed. But who
StreamYard.
cares? Yeah.
No, in StreamYard, it's pretty. It's
Oh,
like
is it?
maybe not even half a second, maybe
Yeah.
less.
It's less than it was last time anyway. Basically because I rebooted after work. I don't know. I guess. I also had planned all fucking week. Well, not that I planned all week. I had the thought that I should like think of whatever it is we're going to talk about, and instead of trying to stream it because it kept buffering, that I
Hmm.
should just YouTube rip it, whatever it is. And I had that thought pretty much once a day, every day, and never did it.
That's been our life for what the
Yeah,
past
yeah.
10 years.
That's pretty much it. We
We've
just
had
can't seem to get it together.
so many ideas and said, "Hey, let's do the podcast. Hey, let's stream
Yep,
again." And it's just been
I
10
know.
years, over 10 years.
That's it. That's who we are. Anyway, so you had wanted me to host because you felt like you were monopolizing the time. Like what were you? What,
I don't know. I just felt like I was the one doing all the yelling and screaming and ranting. It was like, oh, because you watch stupid videos and you just see one guy just yammering, and then you
yeah,
see the host just standing there with the look of like, "Can I say something?" It's like,
yeah.
I don't want to be that dude.
Yeah. So that brought to mind. So I
Yes,
don't know
share your
what.
feelings, but bone
No,
saw.
there's no feeling. Well, first of all, yeah,
Tell us how you feel.
I just chose that name. I don't know. I'm watching old shit, and I watched the original Spider-Man.
Yes.
So that's the name. I think I'm just going to come up with a new name each time because fuck it.
Rest in peace,
Oh, that's
Macho
right.
Man.
Yeah, snap into a Slim Jim,
you
little buddy, big
ever
buddy.
hear you ever hear
Well,
Jake the Snakes Roberts impression of
no.
all right. He was telling this story about how him and Macho Man were going to be in a match, but one of the things in the match was Jake the Snake was going to have a snake crawl over him, but it was a king cobra snake.
Okay.
And of obviously, if you're anyone, his concerns are valid that he's very worried about this snake crawling over him. It's a king
Oh yeah.
cobra. So he's like, and I'm not going to even try and do the impression because I'm going to ruin it. But he
Mhm.
just goes off acting like Randy Savage perfectly. I think it was on Rogan too, about he wanted the king cobra to bite Jake the Snake first because apparently Jake is saying, yeah, they removed the venom sacs, filled it with saline so they don't regrow, but he
Yeah.
still has his teeth.
Mhm.
So, he tells this whole story about how the snake bit into um, his leg and let it sit there and then pulled it off. And Macho Man's like, okay, now sit there and wait 30 minutes with no anti-venom because he was just scared, which is valid.
Yeah.
Giant king cobra, you don't want it biting you. When you hear the stories about wrestling, it's like, holy shit. Anyway,
Yeah.
that was my here I am
Are you?
monopolizing again.
No,
Tell
no,
me your
I don't
story.
care. Like that's the thing I want to bring up is I don't give a shit. The more you talk, the less I have to.
Oh, you motherfucker.
I mean, and I don't think you've been monopolizing it at all. I think the first one I started with the Warriors and shit like that, and you know whatever. The problem is that you for at the beginning you had to pull up any videos, which that's when I came up with the idea of downloading them so I don't have to stream them, which I didn't do any of that. So anyway, but that brought up a thought. So Anthony Cumia, um, he had a co-host for a while. His name was Dave Landau. Did you
What
ever
was
see him
this?
on?
No.
Huh? It was a couple of years ago. Anyway, it was like first of all, I don't have a compound media subscription. And every once in a while I think about getting one, but then I decide not to because there's so much free shit to watch.
Yeah, seriously, it's another payment.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah. So, but he would put clips out every once in a while. My guy is freaking out. Anyway,
your hair is doing some
yeah,
funky shit.
it's doing some weird shit. But anyway,
So there
uh,
it is again. Your
yeah,
hair's
it's
like
it's just going to keep
its own
doing it.
living presence.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna focus is your the power of the mullet.
No.
I'm sorry. Go on.
That's fine. The Anyway, so he had a few co-hosts for a while. Like he had Artie Lang on for a while,
Yeah, that
and
one I know. That
yeah, they had the AA show or whatever, which I thought was interesting because I like Artie Lang. I always liked him on Stern, and of course Anthony Cumia, and the two of them together until Artie stabs himself in the chest again or whatever the fuck he's gonna do.
destructive. Yeah, but I mean that's what makes Artie Artie.
Yeah,
You can't.
pretty much.
If you
Oh,
don't have that kind of Artie, you're not gonna have a good show.
there's something I could try to bring up because I don't think you ever watched when that's old. Well, anyway, let me just get to this part. So, so anyway, Dave Landau left his show, and apparently left in a hurry. And Anthony was kind of, you know how Cumia is, like he doesn't really get pissed off because he doesn't actually give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, he's like, dude, you could have just fucking, gave me warning. Apparently, he just left because Steven Crowder had offered him a job. Okay, as third chair. Do you know what third chair is?
You
On
practically the whole.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That the whole. So it's basically Jim Norton's seat on Opie and Anthony, where he doesn't own the show, but they put a comedian in the third chair. Artie Lang on Stern was third chair. So 2 years later, now Dave Landau is leaving, and there was a whole bunch of shit about this because apparently working for Crowder is well, first of all, let me just say this. Being third chair on any show, whatever, Steven Crowder, Anthony Cumia, Opie and Anthony, the Stern Show, to us, dream fucking job, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, quit where we're currently at,
Well,
go
I
right to
mean,
that.
our positions, yes. You know what I mean? Like we work at a 9 to 5. We're 10 not
Yes,
less. Anthony
yes,
Cumia used to be a 10 knocker. And then Opie pretty much said, "Come join my show." He's like, "Fuck 10 knocking. I'm
yes,
joining this show." So yeah,
exactly.
no.
So to us, dream job, which
Mm-hmm.
apparently it is when you work for certain people.
Oh yeah.
And it was, I guess, at first when this Dave Landau guy started working for Crowder.
As we can attest to some of our real life jobs.
Yeah,
When we first
exactly.
started working at a certain place, it
Amazing.
was the best job.
Yeah.
Then after years, they got
Yep.
rid of management, brought
Yep.
in new management,
Yep.
and it sucked dick so much that we just, well, you quit the legit way. You got
Yeah.
to,
Yeah. Yeah.
you found a job and then left the original. I just abandoned ship. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
not coming into work. I don't,
Yeah.
I don't care. Did I ever
Yeah.
tell you about the rest of that story?
No, go ahead.
What happened?
No.
This was like I saved up enough money to last like a good 2 months after I woke up in the morning. I was like, I looked, when you're like, I'm just so done with jobs and so on, and you look at your bank account, and you're like, can I survive? Can I do this? I looked at I was like, I can do this. I'm not going to work anymore. I can't do it. I don't want to
Yeah.
do it. And so I knew I had a good 2 months. So I was
Hmm.
like, I'll take the first month just to recharge my batteries and everything. And then the second month, I'll really start looking for another job. And so it was 2 weeks in. I hadn't taken a shower in like a week because I'm just being a complete lazy bum. All of a sudden, I hear knocking on my door. I'm like, I'm not answering the door. I haven't taken a shower. I'm not answering the door. Then I get a call, and I'm like, who is calling me? And it wasn't like a scam number. It looked like a local number,
Hmm.
and it said immediately voicemail left. I'm like, so I listened to the voicemail, and it was like It was the head of the union and the head of the oh the personnel people at the
HR.
name of the yeah, well, not HR. It was like the head of the personnel or something. They're like, Gray, we would like to talk to you about coming back to the job. I'm like, what? No,
Mm.
I just deleted the voicemail. I'm like, no, I'm done. I'm not making that drive anymore. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. That's fun because I find that hilarious. Like, well, first of all, I have a fucking mortgage. I can't just,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And
I had rent, but I just knew I had enough
I know,
savings.
I know. But even with enough savings, all I'm thinking about is how long. First of all, you have enough savings for how long? And then once you're done with that amount of time, now you have no fucking savings.
Well, let me just preface this that I was completely deluded. Now thinking back on,
Mhm.
I'm a little older and
Yeah,
wiser, and I look back, I was like, man, that was insane what I
yeah,
did, and
yeah,
how I got my next couple of jobs was just like, man, you were lucky. You
yeah,
were lucky. I was like, that was some stupid dumb shit that I did.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know that I could have done that, but
Mm,
I mean, I got the next job, and even though it was basically it was less money, that was the other
mhm,
thing for both
mhm.
of us. It was less money, but I jumped ship so quick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I went out onto what they called personal. We worked in a call center, by the way, and went out on personal, which is basically if you're in between breaks and lunch and you got to take a piss, you go into personal. I went into personal as soon as I seen a phone number come up on my phone. I didn't know it was for another job, but I knew other things were calling me, other wherever I put my application in, and I never came back from personal.
Are you serious?
No, I never did. Well, I did go in after I took the call, and they told me I basically was accepting before I heard the offer. I'm like, yes, I'll take it. Get me the fuck out of here. I'll take it. And then I hung up the phone, walked back in, and talked to what's her face. I forget her name now. And
I know who you're talking about. You know.
yeah, yeah. So and I said, "Hi, I quit." And she
Really?
yeah. And she goes, she looked at me because, she thinks I'm joking. She thinks I'm joking. And I'm like, no, yeah. She goes, "What do you mean you quit?" Like, quit what? I was like, the job. I'm going home. And because it just became so I mean, I technically put in 2 weeks notice, uh, but only because they had, I had vacation time stored up. And they were
Mhm.
like, "We'll just put your vacation time in for the next 2 weeks, and then you're done." So I just never went back at that point. But
Well,
so I left. I did do it the quote unquote right way, but at the same time, I did leave that day. I
well, I
mean, well,
okay.
anyway, no, I was just gonna say, like, it was in their best interest to just not fight it because how much work are they getting out of me at that point?
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Well, I will give it to that company.
Yeah.
They actually, because again, I had enough savings for 2 weeks. I mean, 2 months,
Mm.
but it also helped because they actually gave me money. They actually paid me for my unused vacation time, which I was shocked
Oh,
because I received a paycheck in like a couple of weeks, and
yeah,
all of a
yeah.
sudden I got another direct deposit. I'm like, what's this for?
Oh, wow.
And I think I know it said something in the note that said vacation. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, all right, whatever.
Oh, there you go.
But
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
to also clarify how horrible this job was, I mean, I'm pretty sure you put this story in, or
Yeah.
I forget who we spoke to, but I thought I know you left and me left and
Mhm.
another person left. That those
Mhm.
were my that I knew for a fact. But then after speaking or hearing stories from other people, and around the month or two after, before and after we left, like
Mhm.
20 people left
Yeah.
that place.
Yeah.
So then I started realizing why they came knocking on my door.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, you wanna keep you wanna come back because we lost a lot of people besides just you. I was like,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
because prior to that, they would have been like, "You know what? Fuck him."
Mhm.
And,
'Cause apparently a lot of people did before that. I
yeah.
mean,
Well, it was because of the new management, we
yeah.
don't gotta get into the details, but new management came in. All the management we were dealing with, had left and gone other places, and the new management guy started bringing in his own people from his previous center to start, taking over the shit that we were so anything so all of us had been there for so long, we weren't promoted, but we had other responsibilities. And we just got sent back to the beginning
Mhm.
because this guy wanted his people. So any work we had put in to get where we were just completely eliminated. I mean, that was one of the things, but a lot of the shit started changing. It got to be fucking ridiculous.
Well,
Anyway.
our first managers at that place were humans.
Mhm.
They talked to us like humans, treated us like
That's yeah.
humans. But then
Mhm.
these new managers came in, they're like,
Yep.
"We're managers. We own you.
Yeah.
We're the kings and you're peasants." I
Mhm.
mean, they didn't say that, but that's what it felt like. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, all
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Well, then you know what? This peasant's just taking his ass out the door. And I remember one to actually two super three
Mhm.
3 supervisors. Um, I know one left the company to go work for another company, and then they fired him. Another one was transferred away because of some uh un unmanagerial conduct that he did. I'm not going to get into it, but
Okay.
and then another one who is all about, yes, I'm going to be a lifer at Verizon. I'm going to stay here. I've got a plan. I'm going to be a manager and then I'm going to move up and blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
Next thing I know, I hear he took out the managerial buyouts. Like, oh, you
Yeah.
saw the writings on the wall for you people.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't regret leaving that place. I
Oh,
really don't.
no,
But
not at all.
it was it was just too bad it didn't work out. Because, like you said, for the first 5 years at
Hmm.
least, it was beautiful.
It was a
It
great
was
job.
great.
It was all, and especially when it was at the location that,
Yes.
we
Yeah.
initially started in, that
Yeah.
area was great. It
Yeah.
was a quick drive from where I lived. It was
Mhm.
great, and then they moved out to East Bumblefuck. I was like,
Yeah, I know.
"Oh my god."
Yeah. And like 6 different people wound up destroying their cars because of hitting deer on the way there
Damn.
because that fucking road apparently was infested with deer.
Well, I mean, it's trees on both sides.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was literally like a road through the forest. That's literally what
Yeah.
that road was.
Do we ever find out why we moved? It probably had to do with the director guy, the guy that came in that we hated. Probably was like, This is closer to my house. It must move here."
Uh,
Fucking stupid.
if you remember when we first started, they were saying that they were gonna move, that the location that we started in
Oh,
wasn't big enough.
I didn't even know
To
that.
Yeah, I remember them bringing up that then they're gonna move, but it has to be within certain miles from this location.
Yeah.
I was like, oh boy, but it kept being put off. So I'm like, all right, we're gonna be stuck here forever. Then they finally moved. It's like, oh my god, fuck this drive.
Yeah. It was annoying.
But
Anyway, yeah, good.
here's something I've been hearing. Have you heard about this quietly quitting bullshit?
No.
Apparently, quietly quitting is just doing the bare minimum of what you're paid for.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Doing nothing more, and it's just like, well, that's just doing your job. I mean, if you're gonna there was this one video of a guy who was he was top of the class. I mean, not top of the class, top of his team, doing whatever his position required him to do. He was number one at it.
Mhm.
And when he asked for a raise, they're like, you're being paid, um I forget how, their bullshit saying for, we're paying you enough, just deal with it. And he's
Mhm.
like, okay, all right. So he stopped trying hard, he stopped being a try hard.
Yeah.
And then HR called him into a meeting. It's like, why has your, performance like slacked off? He's like, well, you told me that there's no incentive for me. Pretty
Yeah.
much, you're saying that I'm being paid enough as it is for my
Mhm.
performance. So then, what's the point of being doing higher
Yeah.
performance? And of
Mhm.
course, I mean, I don't know how he just ended the video like him just giving like a smug face,
Yeah.
but didn't even give them a chance to. He cut off the video before they had responded. But still, that's their corporation's pretty much acting like, oh, it's quietly quitting and it's hurting the industry. It's like, well, maybe you should not pay your employees shit.
Yeah. So hang on. So I'm not sure how to play this. I did download the video, but I was supposed to like timestamp shit. But anyway, so Dave left Cumia, one dream job that we would have, to go to another dream job, probably for more money, I would assume.
Well, it depends on what you want. Like, do you want more money or do you want more name recognition? Because,
or God,
well, it's probably both. Because I mean,
yeah,
we
Crowder's
know
huge.
Cumia, yeah. So your name's going to get out there more
Yeah, he's
under
huge.
Crowder.
Yeah, so
He's
and he's a
huge.
comedian.
I do not know who he is. I do not know who you're talking about.
Okay,
I figured
well, he's a
he's some kind of
comedian.
David Crowder.
So no. Dave Landau, the guy that worked for Crowder,
Okay. Well,
is a
both of
comedian.
them, I don't know who they are.
You don't know who Crowder is?
I do. I've heard of his name. I know.
Louder with Crowder,
Yeah,
the
and
guy that does the Change My Mind videos where he goes to like college campuses with a
never.
sign that says shit
No,
like
I
there's
thought it
only
was. I
yeah.
thought it was louder with chowder. That's how. But
Louder
no,
with clam
let me
chowder.
just preface this. I stopped watching news. I stopped watching TV
Yeah.
maybe a decade ago.
Yeah.
I just refused because I can't deal with the bullshit that they've just dumped into your face. The news, we all know the news is shit. I've
Yeah.
realized that long ago. And I especially with Opie and Anthony, they're the ones that really open my eyes to how bullshit the news is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
It's all
can't watch
geared
it.
towards whatever their audience is. You know, Fox News got the conservatives and CNN has the liberals and whoever that audience is, that's how they spin every story.
Well, even that is that they always point to everything as like it's their fault and
Yeah,
we must fight them. It's
they
like
just blame each other. It's it's the alien overlords. The alien overlords have come up with this two-party system to keep us all occupied while they run shit. I'm not really sure it matters who's in office anymore. I think
no, it
everything's going to
doesn't.
go exactly the way it's going to go, regardless of who's in.
I think Trump was a monkey wrench. I seriously believe
He wasn't
he
part of that system.
he wasn't part of the plan. They have a
Yeah,
plan.
yeah,
It's like the Cylons. They have a plan,
yep,
and Trump was not part of the plan, and that's
yeah.
why they're throwing everything but the kitchen sink at him to
And
try
it's not
and.
just the I'm sorry, it's not just the Democrats that are after him. It's everybody.
I
It's
know
all of them. It's like, what
it's
are you doing? You're
crazy.
ruining everything. Which is why everybody voted for him in the first place.
Yeah.
Is just let's throw this asshole in there. See what the fuck
Well,
happens.
he wasn't even supposed to be in there. I'm surprised they haven't shot him because when
Well,
you
yeah.
when you look at the 2016 election, you saw everybody, not just the other side, everybody that ran. How
Hmm.
many of them were how many of them were career politicians and how many of them weren't?
Yeah.
And who won the election?
Hmm.
Because I mean, under Obama, we were everybody said we're going to get the change, the change. We're going to this great change was going to happen. Nothing changed. So next election, you got this goofball coming in. I'm gonna. I mean, let's be real. The guy's a nut job, but
Yeah.
he was entertaining. I
Oh,
it
yes.
was brilliant.
Are you not entertained?
It was the best TV that I've seen because I don't watch TV, but where we worked, we had the TV with the news on it all the time. And it was glorious. And the
Yeah.
memes and
Yeah.
the videos and the Reddit that was strictly for him, it was a party. It was hilarious. Everybody's the best part of the whole thing, he was like a giant troll, just
Hmm.
trolling everything, and everybody's trolling with him, having a good time. And you had the people that were mad. They were legit angry. Like, how dare he not take this seriously? It's gonna cost us. It's oh my god, it's the end of the world. And we're all just like, okay, we're just throwing more fuel into the fire, just
Yeah.
making fun of them, drain the swamp. They'll
Dude,
make America
I can't
MAGA.
imagine. I can't imagine what would have happened had Trump won the reelection. And
Oh
then
my
because
god.
we were going into the pandemic, everything
Hmm.
shut down. And first of all, I guarantee you, if it did shut down, I'm not even sure it would have. if they did shut everything down, it wouldn't have shut down for so long. We would have been economically ahead of everyone just by keeping everything open. Just be like, yeah, because it didn't do anything. We know it didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, didn't they just announce there was some official announcement that the pandemic is now over? Oh, really? What changed? Is
Yeah.
COVID gone? No. Is there a cure for COVID? No.
Well, people are losing too much money. That's it. I mean,
Which is what? Then why not fucking end that shit 2 weeks in?
because
What the fuck?
it was all about the money. We got to
It's
keep these people under control. And
it,
well, what's his face? Who's the other guy? Not Louder with Crowder.
Ben
There's
Shapiro.
there's another guy who's all on that. He's part of that talk show host. He just got fired from Fox.
I have no idea who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I don't know his name, but apparently he got fired from Fox because he pretty much went on record saying that um the pharmaceutical advertisements pretty much are
Yeah.
controlling,
Yeah.
telling everybody what
Absolutely.
to say on the news
100%.
stations. And
100%. It's
eh,
all. Somebody put together a video, and I wish we had it. See, this is why we should like plan out some of our shit because we have videos. Somebody put out a video of all the news clips of
saying the same thing.
saying saying well, yes, and then but also at the end of all of it, like I'll just make COVID is going to kill everyone. Brought to you by Pfizer. Like it's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, they have no control, right?
Mhm.
The people that are giving them the money have no control over the narrative. Go fuck yourself.
Well, I remember Trump's statement about COVID.
Hmm.
He was saying it's like he got a test done. And this was pure Donald Trump, which was
Yeah.
hilarious. He was like, they tested my I had a test done. They tested my DNA. It wasn't DNA, it was USA.
Wait, who said this?
That was Donald Trump.
Of course he did. Of course he did.
And people took
Oh,
that seriously. And it's
yeah.
like, do you not understand what this guy is
Yeah.
doing? Like
I
that was
mean, just
that was a classic quote.
he's a WWE villain.
Thank you. Yes.
I
And he
mean,
plays it up.
yeah, of course. Of course. I mean, yeah, is he personally like that? Does he have an ego that could fill a fucking building? Yes.
Yes, of course
100%.
he is.
But name me one politician that doesn't. I mean, it's anyway, but who cares? I don't want to get into all that bullshit because who
Okay.
gives a fuck?
Landau. What is that his name? Landau?
Yeah, Dave
Okay.
Landau. Well, you don't even know who Crowder is for fuck's sake. But
I
Crowder he's a political show like Ben Shapiro, that kind of thing.
I
He
don't
was
know who he is. Like if you show me a picture of him, he said, "Who's this?" I'd be like, I don't know. But I know
well,
Crowder. I've heard of Louder with Crowder, the Crowder name. I know the
I'm
name.
sure you've seen clips of him.
No, I don't.
I mean, hang on. Uh,
Again, I have my YouTube. And
you-
anything with political, not I do not recommend this channel. Do not I must have spent a good 3 years working on my YouTube channel. Do not recommend channel. Do not, because they just
oh
wanted
shit.
to shove that shit in my face. That the Jimmy night shows, the both of
Mhm.
them. I don't know how many times I had to click do not recommend these channels.
Yeah, I'm trying to find like a clip of him so you could see. He's not on YouTube anymore, by the way. He moved to Rumble. He's one of the guys that moved to. He would just to tell you how big of a show it is. Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson and all that are now part of this thing called the Daily Wire. The Daily Wire offered Crowder $50 million. I don't know for what length of time to move over to their platform.
Holy shit.
So that's a big fucking show.
No wonder
Is
Landau
well,
ran.
exactly. And he's a comedian. Landau's a comedian, so he wants his name out there,
Mhm.
and he wants his shows promoted. Well, anyway, it was a whole big thing, but it turned into a fucking job. Well, anyway, I don't
Well,
know. God,
with this Crowder guy, was he on Rogan?
He might have been at one point. I don't know. Let me see.
Because the only reason I even know about Dave Shapiro was because he was on Rogan.
Oh, okay. Was Crowder on Logan? On Rogan? Yes, Crowder was on Rogan a couple of times. In,
Really?
in fact, he got into a few arguments with Rogan,
Damn.
and you know
I
how.
completely missed that shit.
Yeah. Well, what happened was he is so right wing. Me and you disagree with with a lot of his shit. One of the things was the legalization of marijuana. He started spewing some things about, oh yeah, with
Oh no.
Colorado, there's a bunch of car accidents, all that.
Oh
And
no.
of course, you
Yeah.
bring that up to
Uh-huh.
Joe, and
Uh-huh.
Joe, all of a sudden, Joe's like,
Oh no, you didn't.
yeah, Joe starts stretching, and he's about ready to choke you out. But so, but then Jamie starts bringing up, statistics, and Crowder got all like pissy, like, oh, well, you got your guy here to pull up all these statistics, and I don't have my guys here, and they got into an argument. That's the only time I remember him on Rogan.
Damn, now I gotta watch this. Now
Yeah,
I gotta see this.
he was on a couple times, including the another time after that incident where they were all nice to each other. But there was a moment in there where Rogan's how Rogan gets when he's actually pissed.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yes.
he's sitting up in his seat, and every time the
Mhm.
guy opens his mouth, he starts cutting him off and shit.
Mhm.
It's funny.
You mean it's
I'm
good Rogan? That's when Rogan gets good.
yeah. That's when Rogan gets good. That's when Rogan is like 2 days away from smoking his last joint. That's like sober October Rogan when he's all fucking antsy. But anyway, by the way, speaking of Rogan, me and you haven't really. I every once in a while we pass information back and forth, like, oh, so and so was on Rogan, but there was a time when he was on YouTube where I always knew who was on.
Mhm.
Even when I didn't know the person, I would watch it because it's just fucking there on YouTube. Now that he's on Spotify, I never watch him.
But
Um,
he puts out clips on YouTube, and that's the only reason
yeah,
why I know.
yeah.
I
So
don't I don't pay attention to Spotify in any way, shape, or form. I
yeah,
only use it, and I have to use it on my computer because they're so full of ads. It's aggravating. But
yeah.
that's the only, like
I
I
know.
know
Apparently,
I know
just come.
Diaz on Rogan, so I got to watch that one
Yeah,
too.
I got to watch that one too at some point. But even sometimes those, like, I'll go, oh shit, Diaz was on Rogan, and I mean to watch it, and then months go by, and I just never get to it. But if he was still on YouTube, it's just the Spotify thing.
Hmm.
There's no easy way for me to just pull up Spotify and search for. I understand it's not that hard. It's harder than YouTube, and I'm too fucking lazy to do anything more than
Well, the
click
thing
on
is,
YouTube.
you're already on YouTube. YouTube, everybody's on YouTube. I'm Most
Yeah,
of my entertainment is from YouTube. So
yeah.
when Joe Rogan popped up, it's like, oh, okay, but Spotify, I have to
You have to
this is
go
how
to Spotify.
lazy. Yes, I
Yes.
have to click the link
Yeah.
to go to Spotify and
Hmm.
then run it.
Yeah.
It's like whereas
And
YouTube, it's just everything was right there. It was like all in one channel.
yeah. And it's a whole separate fucking thing. Like, granted, you could do it in a web browser, so that's a little easier, but it's also it's not just fucking there. I don't
Mhm.
know. Anyway.
I
uh,
I I hear you. I
Yeah.
understand. Like if I have to go to another website, that's how lazy we've become. That we
Yeah.
fuck. I got to go to another website. God damn it.
Uh-huh. Well, anyway, so I did pull up. I see. I don't have this time stamped or anything, but I wanted to let you hear what this dream job, what we would consider a dream job, turned into
Oh
for this
no.
guy.
Well,
Um,
isn't Crowder like corporatized?
he
Like,
owns it, I
but
think.
he's gonna have advertisers and
Yeah,
corporations telling him,
he
gotta say
has to,
this, can't do this, you gotta say
but
that.
it's not that. Here's the thing: he
Oh
runs
no.
the fucking thing, so all this comes
Oh.
from him.
Oh
In other
shit.
words, he turned into a fucking tyrant.
He
Basically,
he
he
tu
turned
he
into.
did to a Howard Stern.
Yes, I was just going to say that's exactly the name I was about to bring up. Howard Stern, which when I was listening to Stern back in the day, I thought Stern was like like we think Cumia is now, like just a chill guy that's fucking, that's doing
He
a
can hang
show and
with.
enjoying his life that you could hang with, like, you know, and then you find out he's a fucking tyrant, like screaming at people behind the scenes. Oh my God, that was a.
Holy
I keep
shit.
I keep thinking of the. Do you remember what I don't know what you want to call it, the meeting he put together for him and his staff, where he's got like charts and graphs up on the
Oh,
screen and talking about his viewership and all,
yeah.
and you're just like, no, dude, you threw baloney at strippers' asses. Like that's what you did.
Well, that's what
Do
happens when corporations
Yeah,
start getting their fingers into everything.
yeah, but once again, I don't think it's corporation. That's Stern. That's who he is. He's just a giant douche. Anyway, Crowder turned into the same thing apparently. But
Oh,
so Cumia had his show. I had seen this separately, and then I seen Cumia reacted to it. So I don't know if you want to play a little bit of Cumia
yep.
reacting to it, because
Yeah.
Cumia,
Play it all.
yeah,
Oh my God,
yeah.
this is gonna be funny.
Cumia goes, he in the beginning of the show, he goes, and I, like I said, I had seen this before because Landau went on another show, and with this, I forget this guy's name, but he was on Rogan at one point, and he starts talking about the contract, talking about all the different problems, and then I seen a couple of days later, or maybe the next day, Cumia reacting to it. I was like, oh my God, I gotta hear this. Because Cumia already had a problem with Landau leaving him to go, because apparently there was no warning. He's just like, I'm moving to this other show. And Cumia's like, okay. So anyway, well, let's play some of it. And we'll try to skip around, but I don't have timestamps. How do I share this fucking thing? Here we go.
Can't have share. It has to be. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Which
So
one is Landau?
okay. So this guy here is Dave Landau. He's the comedian.
Okay.
This guy here is Michael something. He was on Rogan. Something about I think he lived in Russia or something. So he was on there for like when that shit started with Ukraine. But and now he's got his own thing. So basically, Cumia is reacting to his channel, and we're reacting to Cumia. And maybe someday when we become important, someone will react to us, reacting to Cumia, reacting to them. Anyway, I do want to get to the beginning when Cumia gets all excited. Here we go.
Is there sound? I can't hear anything.
You can't hear it?
No.
What? Really? God damn it! Why can't you hear it?
I don't know.
I don't understand. I can hear it.
It's your end?
Let's. Yeah, I'm going to stop sharing, and then share again. God damn it! Why does nothing work? Mother effer.
Such a professional show we have.
I know, it's fucking awesome. Aren't we special? Can you hear it?
No.
Oh my fucking God.
Are you serious? Wait a minute. I mean, I can hear you.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any
And
sense.
I can't tell. I mean, I can't tell if I'm hearing it because it's on my screen or if I'm hearing it because it's being shared. So why? Hang on. Is there some kind of fucking. Oh, I hate life. Hang on. Is there something when you share it that you have to actually. Some screens let you share audio. Look for share audio checkbox on the next screen. Follow steps. Window. There is no share audio checkbox. Does that mean I can't fucking share it?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't have any issues. I mean, when I shared audio, you were able to hear it, right?
Yeah, I
I mean,
was.
yeah. I mean,
Hang on. Let me just go. I know that when I share this, it's gonna buffer and it's not gonna work, which is why I downloaded the fucking video. But let's try it this way. You son of a bitch. Okay. Let's try this. I'm gonna share this fucking thing. Here we go. Tell me if you can hear this.
Wow. No, I cannot hear. What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Hold on. Give me the link.
Yeah.
Just to see.
God damn it. Where's Discord? Here. Share screen. Okay. I think I figured it out. Hang on. Can you hear that?
There to write the things you
Okay.
want to write, and
Yeah.
it's cool. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Okay.
But it
So
was
I had to do
always-
it. Anyway, it doesn't
For
matter.
somebody who always uses the term moving the goalpost, that's all it became. So we began
Hang
touring
on.
together, and yes, it was very good money, and I paid Matt very
Yeah,
well.
yeah, fix your hair,
But it
Cumia.
always became something.
Get those
where
plugs straight.
Nothing feels good, even if you're making money, if you're being treated like you don't deserve it.
Oh yeah, for
Ooh,
sure.
Interesting.
Oh, wow.
Like this is everything
That
that
sounds
I
like working at
am
our
giving
previous
you.
job.
So
Yeah.
even the whole
Pretty much.
tour, you just feel kind of.
I wish I had the beginning because Cumia was so giddy, like a fucking schoolgirl. When he's seen this, he goes, "I can't wait to see this." Here's the other thing. This is a clip of just him. So he started doing this, reacting to this, saying, "We'll play this for a little while, and then we'll get into the show." Notice how long the video
I was gonna
is.
say.
He loved every second of it.
And it doesn't really matter, you just kind of you're like, I'd rather just go back to clubs. I don't care.
Can you
And
pause for a second?
we go on.
Oh boy.
I'm like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
dude watching his
Yeah.
chick
Yeah.
that like ran off with some other dude. And now she's just shit talking him. And I'm like, yeah, fuck that guy.
And he like talks about you awesomely, like
Does
5 or
he?
6 times. Where like
Oh, see,
Anthony would plug my gigs so much, I wouldn't even have to plug my gigs.
oh
It's-
my goodness,
Yeah.
what a guy that
Yeah.
Anthony.
Exactly.
let me listen a little more. I'm loving
July
it.
2022, and we got a new showrunner who was doing our tour. at the
I
time,
want to
named
find
Jeff,
some of
good
the
guy.
important parts, but
I get back from break, and at this time, I wouldn't go into anything about Steven's family, and I wouldn't want him to go anything about mine either, obviously. And
what's that
but
about?
somebody in my family was very, very sick, and
All
I've
right,
been
nobody cares.
pedaling.
Hang on, I'm going to stop the share just so I can kind of go through this. But
This is what Opie and Anthony used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. And when we listened to them on what were they on? 102.7. You didn't have to. I mean, when they went to XM, it was still great because I mean, XM also had a really good rock station. But once they merged with Sirius, oh my god, it went to such garbage.
Yeah.
Because even though XM had more viewers, for some reason it was Sirius that bought out XM. So all of XM stations got kicked off and they just used Sirius stations. And Sirius Rock Station was awful. It was just pretty much the same thing that regular rock stations on regular radio was. They play the same 3 songs over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they got rid of Anthony, and then it went to the Opie and Jimmy show, it wasn't the same.
No,
and I canceled XM. I was just like,
some of that shit is funny though. That I'm sure you've seen the blow up the day they had the blow up.
Oh yeah,
that's fucking great.
Because which doesn't make any sense because Opie was the one that brought Anthony in, and when you hear the story, the initial story of Opie bringing Anthony in, Opie realized that he's the straight guy.
Yes.
And he knew that's what his position was.
Yeah.
And Anthony, him playing off Anthony's nonsense was what made the show great.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what happened. I don't know. Maybe the money got to his head, or
Yeah.
maybe his wife was telling him, it's like, he pulled the Yoko effect or something. But he changed where he's like, I want to be the star. It's like,
Yeah.
well, you were the star years ago and your career didn't go anywhere. It was when you brought Anthony in where you blew up
Yeah.
big. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, do you not? This is what that saying. The only thing you learn from history is that nobody learns from history. Is like, you got to look back, man, see how you became big, and then you want to shoot the guy that helped make you big. And then once you got rid of Anthony, and then Jimmy was out the door. Where's Opie now? I mean, I don't even know what he does.
So I sort of know what he does, only because Anthony does shit on him all the time. He does stuff on his show about him all the time and shits on him all the time. Um, Also, there's a show called Who Are These Podcasts, where they basically take like if they found our show and they wanted to make fun of it, they basically just play clips of our show and shit on us. And they shit on Opie all the time because apparently he just takes his phone and the audio video quality is fucking horrible, and he just records himself with the beach behind him and talks about how Cumia has no fucking, that he's got a failing network and shit. And Cumia's like, dude, I have a fucking studio. You're on a phone. Like, what the fuck? But
Wait, that's real?
yeah, that's real.
I thought that was just Opie, because I know Opie had his own YouTube channel where he would just, film
But that's the
little
point.
clips.
That's what he
I
does.
didn't know that's all he does.
That's all he does now.
Oh my
That's all he does.
God.
And according to Anthony, he basically says shit like, I've known this guy for years. I know what's going on here. He's too afraid to, this is Anthony saying this. He's too afraid. Opie's too afraid to do an actual show because he's afraid it'll suck. So what he does is he does this stupid shit on his phone. So that way, when people say it sucks, he'd be like, I'm not even trying. I'm just on my phone. Like, he won't go. And I don't know why he wouldn't.
So then
mean-
what is his actual show?
He doesn't really do anything. I don't think he does anything anymore.
So that, oh
What?
my God. Like, can you imagine us just creating our job and just not doing anything? I'm like, does he
Well, I
have
mean-
that much money saved that he
According to Anthony, they were paid millions.
really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
I mean,
maybe he was financially smart that he can just.
probably, but at the same time, why is he recording on his phone and doing anything publicly if that's the case?
And why not? Like, you heard how Rogan started, right? You heard that whole story?
Because
Rogan-
of Anthony's,
Yeah, because
his,
of Anthony. So
basement setup or whatever.
why wouldn't you're Opie? Why wouldn't
Yeah.
you do the same thing?
Yeah.
Like, you don't even have to go the level. Like, we're just goofballs,
If
and
it-
we're doing more than Opie is. Like, that just seems odd to me.
I know.
You know?
Well, if you listen to other people, it's because he doesn't have the talent to do it, because he needs somebody else there.
But he did it for so long before Anthony came around.
Here's the other thing. I mean, here's the thing. So he needs somebody else there. Fine. If I did a show by myself, I would need somebody else there because I can't fucking do.
Why do you think I kept hounding you? It's like, I can't
I
do
know.
this shit myself.
I know. It's fucking annoying. Well, just sitting and talking into a camera is fucking stupid. Anthony has the ability to do that, but even he wants a co-host every once in a while. Somebody to jump in. He has comedian
somebody
friends
to
that come in.
play off of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Anthony sits there and does that shit, and he gets comedians that come on. Nobody wants to do anything with Opie.
Well, I mean,
Apparently, according to Anthony and Jim and
Opie is like Coward
he's a dude.
and like Crowder.
Yeah. So there was one thing that Opie came out with. The whole thing with Anthony getting thrown out of the Patrice benefit by Bill Burr, or Bill Burr's wife,
I
by
can't
proxy.
believe that I lost all respect for Bill. I mean, I still love him as a comedian, but I cannot believe he would allow that to happen.
Well, anyway,
Like, you can't talk it out.
not
like
just
a man.
allow it, he had it happen. Like, he made it happen. But apparently then Opie came out saying something like, "Well, yeah, of course, because Anthony's racist and blah blah blah,"
Here we go.
and Patrice would have wanted him to get kicked out or something. So he said something to that effect, and Anthony goes, "Patrice loved me. I hung out with Patrice outside of the show. Patrice hated Opie."
Whoa, really?
That's according to Anthony. Patrice hated Opie. And whenever, if you remember when Patrice was on Opie and Anthony, it was basically a ping pong match back and forth between him and Anthony.
Oh, yeah. Those were
Yeah.
some of the best shows.
Yeah, it's awesome. I didn't listen back then. But I hear this shit on YouTube now, and I hate the fact that I wasted all my time listening to Howard. It was just funnier.
It sucks because when you listen to the shows, especially when they were on XM.
Yeah.
I mean, people kept saying, "Oh, they were better when they were on 102.7 or WNEW." But when they went to XM, they really hit their stride where they were like just doing crazy stuff. They, they still they didn't want to just become curse balls. They wanted to try and keep it like more comedy than just saying curse words left and right. But they really did some hilarious stuff when they were on XM. And now that it's gone, it's like, God damn it.
I know.
Well,
my favorite things aren't even the bits and stuff that they did. It was just them shitting on each other. When any of the comedians were on, when Jimmy was on with Voss or Patrice was on, or any of them,
Brewer,
any two comedians together. Yeah.
When Rogan came on, you knew you were going to hear some crazy shit.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I started watching Joe, because he would have these crazy. He would go on to these not conspiracy theories, but sort of something like that. But it wasn't crazy. It made sense, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. I didn't go that route. I didn't know anything about Rogan, except for I was a UFC fan. I knew he did the UFC. I knew he did the fucking reality show, the Fear Factor thing, but I never watched it. I knew what it was. So when he started doing a podcast, I think I probably just clicked on a clip on YouTube where I forgot who it was that was on. Oh, I know who it was. Back in the day when they had like the setup in the basement, when it was him, Red Band, and they had Kevin Smith on. That's when I started listening to Rogan and went, "Oh shit, this guy's actually got some shit to say." Like it's not just. I didn't even know he was a fucking comedian. I just thought he was
really.
I just thought he was like a show host. He hosted Fear Factor. He's doing UFC, and I was a big UFC fan for a while there in the beginning. So that's where I knew him from. I had no idea he was funny. I just thought he was just like a show host, like fucking. I don't know what the hell is that guy's name that does all those hosting gigs. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So here we can play that. He starts bringing up the contract because he gets sent a new contract like 2 years into the gig, and they cancel his contract and they give him this new one.
Is this the
Dave Landau?
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know how entertaining this is because I didn't vet all this shit.
I agree on all the revised items from Dave, and this is what Jeff showed me.
Here's the contract he just brought up.
Once I get with our legal team on the revised contract below, it stays on salary, so no extra money. Moves to Texas, moves his family to Texas by the new year. First week.
I'm sorry. Part of your contract, proposed contract, was that your family has to be moved across state lines.
Correct.
Now, here's the thing. When he was on, I think Anthony's going to even explain this, but I don't know how much we're going to hear of it. When he was on Anthony's in New York, he would just travel back and forth to Detroit to go visit his family. It's kind of weird. I don't know what his home life is like, but he's probably got the dream scenario. He's never home. So to have it written in the contract, it might be one thing to say that you need to have a stable residence in Texas or something like that. But to say you're required to move your family, what if your family doesn't want to move?
Like, where's this guy stuck? Is this guy like stuck in it 20 years ago where you had to move?
Yeah.
To go, it's like,
Yeah. Also, for third chair, why can't he just fucking Skype in? I don't understand.
seriously.
Including your kid. You have a
Has
son.
to
How
be
You
old
will
is your son?
all be kept together in the family camp. Get on the
Fucking Anthony.
boxcar. You will all be kept together and your possessions will be returned to you when you get to the family camp.
Let me see if I can skip around.
That's
I'm-
crazy.
We're not going to be able to play all this because
Well,
it's too much. So I'm just going to tell you the stuff I know, or the stuff I can remember anyway.
the TLDR.
TLDR.
Too long, didn't read.
Oh, yeah. So okay, so he has to move his family. He has to be there between the hours of 7 a.m. or whatever. I'm just gonna make up time. Basically, an 8-hour shift, Monday through Thursday, and then he's got something else to do on Saturday. If he's 5 minutes late, it says this in the contract. If you are more than 5 minutes late, you are to turn around and go home, and you will not be paid for the day. It's a
Jesus
job. It's a
Christ.
9 to 5 job. First of all, by the way, if my job implements a thing where I'm 5 minutes late, I get to go home without pay. There's going to be days I'm doing that.
Seriously.
I'm sorry. I'm 5 minutes late. I guess I must have to go home. Like, what the fuck? But he loses money. I mean, it turned into one of the funny things was, well, first of all, the other thing was they kicked him out of the room and they would do a rehearsal for the show. And Anthony fucking shits all over that. Like, who does a rehearsal for this kind of show? Like, what kind of rehearsal? Cumia just shows up to the fucking studio.
I know.
These are the topics. I mean, he might look at. Yeah,
That was Opie and Anthony. They would come in. They
Yeah.
would do no show prep. They would say, "It's like, yeah, we didn't do any show prep."
yeah, exactly. Which is why we're trying to do what we're trying to do. We do no prep, and it's falling apart because we have no idea what we're doing.
But
We
it's
also
funny.
I know.
It's
But we also
train
don't
wreck
have.
are funny.
But we also don't have employees and interns to do all that bullshit for us, which they have.
Seriously.
And Crowder has. But he does a rehearsal, and Dave is left out of the rehearsal. And then once the on-air light comes on, he has to go in the room and sit there. And when he asked this dude, asked him, "Why do you think that you're not part of the rehearsal?" And he goes, "I don't know, but I suspect it's because Crowder doesn't want me." Dave Landau's a pretty funny comedian. He's pretty quick. And he believes that Crowder he wants to have advanced knowledge of the topics so that he can get in his jokes before Landau fucking, just fucking destroys the topic. And then Crowder doesn't get to say anything funny.
You know what the sad part is?
Yeah.
This is shit that Opie brought up. That there were people that had to be the funniest person in the room.
Yes.
He said Howard was like that.
Yes.
There was another talk show host. I think it was Mad Cow. He was in Chicago.
Mad Cow. Yeah.
That he would do the same thing like oh my God. The guy that Anthony was just having problems with.
What? The guy that
Anthony was just having. Oh my God! I can't believe I forgot.
Oh,
his
Bill
name.
Burr.
Bill Burr. Bill Burr told a story about this, and this was one of the fights that Bill Burr and Patrice had because he was on. I think it was Mad Cow, and the guy would just cut Burr's mic so he could say something, which is something that I've heard. Stern do. Like they had to have control of everything. They would have to be the funniest person in the room.
Yeah. And
Opie would say, and him and Anthony would agree, this like sometimes it's best just to let other people have their say, that it was easy because they would, and that was one of the reasons why Opie and Anthony would bring in comedians is so they could have, they do the funny. But in the end, Anthony would say it was still the Opie and Anthony show.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if Patrice said some of the funniest stuff.
Here's the thing, dude. If you have a show, like I said earlier, with you talking about, you felt like you were ranting too much on the last episode or whatever.
Yes, I don't want to be an Opie. I don't want to be a Howard.
But dude, the more you have to say, the less I do. Like if I own a show, if I'm the leader of a show and I have guests on, like Crowder is, like he's the whole show. He doesn't have a co-host. So if I'm that guy and I bring on Bill Burr or somebody like that, and they start ranting, and it's funny shit, I'm not opening my fucking mouth, dude.
Seriously.
You're making my show better. Like,
And
why would I care? Well,
do you honestly think that you can hold toe to toe with Bill Burr? Like, if Bill Burr came in right now, after everything that we said about I'm
Mhm.
taking Anthony's side on this, and he came on the show and he's like,
Uh-huh.
Gray,
Yeah.
I'm not saying a word. I'm just gonna sit back.
Dude,
I am not even gonna try to go
absolutely.
toe-to-toe with Bill Burr.
Dude, you're gonna be cracking up. You're gonna be laughing your ass off, and the
Seriously.
whole time you're gonna be thinking, "This is fucking gold. It's on my show.
Seriously, yes.
Everybody's watching. This is awesome. I don't have to say anything." The fact that you feel like you need to interject something just to feel, oh my god, that was another thing I was going to bring up, but we're already running out of time. I think I sent you this a long time ago. There was a comedian, I'm trying to remember his name, that had as a guest on his podcast, he had Cumia, Jim Norton, and Artie Lang on as
Oh my
guests to his show. And of course, as soon as they all come on stage, they're shitting on him, they're shitting on each other. He can't get a fucking word in edgewise. And by the time it goes on for like an hour, it's hilarious. It's the best thing. Next episode, we should just react to that whole thing. It is the funniest thing I've seen in my life. And at the end, this guy is so pissed off, he just shuts down.
Really?
He just shuts down and starts talking about how I can't, I can't, it's my own show and I can't get a word. And then, and Jimmy starts going, well, it's your show. It's funny. Like all this funny stuff is happening on your show. It's fine. Like, and he just shuts down. It gets so uncomfortable at the end. At a certain point, so Jimmy's trying to make peace. Anthony's sitting in the middle and he's making faces like, oh shit, like really? And at one point, Artie Lang just goes, I'll see you later, guys. And he just walks off stage. He just walks off the stage. And he never comes back. It's the best. At one point, we're going to react to that whole video. It's amazing. It's the best thing ever.
And Anthony had a discussion saying it's like that's how we ran our show and that's why it was so successful.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Well, even Anthony said Opie started to resent that for a while. That he wasn't the funny guy. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because this was all. I thought Opie was the mastermind behind all of this. I thought that was Opie's idea.
But it might have started that way, but eventually, as things went on, now this is once again hearing Anthony tell it, but it's also, by the way, it's Anthony telling it, it's Jim telling it, and it's other guests that were on the show seeing it as well.
One person saying it, okay, you have a fight, but if it's multiple people saying it, it might be the truth.
So apparently he was like that. So I don't, to get back to the Landau thing, one of the other things that Crowder would do is he installed.
Oh my God.
Funny. He installed a light to go on behind him to make Dave shut up so that he could do whatever joke or whatever rant he wanted to do. So that's why when you came on today saying that you felt like you were ranting too much on the last episode, I was like, maybe we should install a gray shut up light.
Dude, please tell me this guy at least told Crowder, take your contract and shove it up your ass.
Well, yeah, that's eventually what wound up happening. And that's why he's on this show now, basically. Fucking hang on. I'm trying to bring up another video here. Yeah, that's why he's on the show now, talking about what the contract was and why he left and all that. And according to him, he's doing it because he knows that Crowder's going to wind up saying some shit about why he left, and the internet's going to start saying some shit about why he left. So he figured he'd tell the story instead of other people telling it. And I'm trying to remove this stupid thing here. Stop there, because I want to show this other thing. So we'll end on this. There's a whole bunch of shit that I meant to talk about, but he went back. Dave Landau went back on Anthony, or streamed into Anthony's show on Monday, and so to talk about this stuff, and of course to crack jokes about it. But Let me make sure I could do the sound again.
You know what the sucky part is? You think you go into grass is greener, better pastures, and you realize, damn, it was awesome right where I was, man.
Yeah, I know. That's the
But
thing.
then
And
again, he probably made enough money now from the couple of years that he was there.
according to, but here, no, hang on.
Oh no.
Okay. So
Oh,
because of
no.
all this, well, there was a whole bunch of things. Because Crowder wants to be a comedian, he's not. He's not that funny. He's got a funny show. He does some shit. Hang on.
He's an Opie.
He's an Opie.
Opie's
He's
not
a
funny.
political guy. He's a political guy. I listen to him when it comes to different political, like I'll see a clip of him talking about what just happened to like the Trump arrest or whatever the fuck. That's him. He's like Ben Shapiro. He's basically Ben Shapiro without all the knowledge and thinking he's funny. That's who Crowder is. But I mean, it's informative shit, but I'm not going there to laugh. I'm going there because I don't watch the news, and I'd rather hear the news as told by somebody that's not going to spin it into Trump's a Nazi. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that's who he is. He's not a comedian. But so anyway, I'm going to share this real quick, and I hope you can hear the audio.
Like
So he goes,
Opie would have some funny stuff to say, like every once
yeah,
in
he
a
wasn't
while.
horrible.
But his best jokes was when he was the straight man reacting to other people's lunacy.
Dude, it's okay to be the straight man. It's
I-
100% okay.
Seriously.
There's nothing wrong with it. Fucking Dean Martin sat there with a straight face on for decades while Jerry Lewis fell on his ass. And they both made millions upon millions of dollars. Who cares who the funny one is?
And even Patrice knew, I mean, we all know Patrice was funny, but when he played the straight man, it was sometimes the funniest shit ever.
Yeah. So anyway, so Landau goes on Cumia, and this is somewhere in the middle of it, which I thought this was funny. Here we go.
Off on it. No, Dave. No, don't. You want to chime in, Dave? Okay, go ahead. Say something.
I
don't know. I want to talk about the Tucker Carlson Don Lemon.
Oh, wow.
Don't talk. He put a light up for him. Oh man.
Oh,
Just-
that is.
Yeah. Oh my God. I can't
See,
imagine.
Now I feel bad for not signing up to Cumia's compound meeting.
I know.
You know?
Yeah. I don't know.
It's just like
I-
another paid service. It's like, Christ almighty.
What?
And then when you pay for it, it's like, I feel
you
I
just
have
freeze
to
up?
watch. Did I? No. Why? Can you hear me? Am
Oh, I
still
can
there?
hear you now. All I heard was another and then a ping noise. Ping.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I was just saying it's like another paid service, that I have to, when you pay for something,
I
you feel
know.
like you have to use it. You have
Yeah.
to watch it. Like, it's
I
one of
mean-
the reasons why I stopped with Netflix
Yeah.
because I was
Yeah.
paying for it. They canceled all the shows that I wanted to watch. The only thing they really kept on was Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And I would sit through, spend half hour looking for something
Yes.
to watch.
Oh my God. Same here.
Because I'm paying for the service, so I should watch it, but there's nothing on. I'm like, you know what? I canceled it because I'm not watching anything. And
Yeah.
luckily, somebody I know is like, hey, you want to blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right. And even then, even when I still not paying for it, I go through the app on the phone because it's quicker because you can just scroll really quickly. I see nothing on it, close it out for the next month.
Anyway. All right. Next time, I guess if we remember it, or if nothing else comes up, we'll do the podcast that they were on together. Cumia, Jimmy, and Artie
Oh,
Lang.
boy.
It's hilarious, dude. Even if we don't do it, you have to watch it. You have to watch it at some point.
Well, then we have to, because I want to react to it. I don't want to watch it and then,
yeah.
Oh,
why do I got that shit up on? The
I was
screen?
gonna say, Megan Kelly says, oh, never mind. Yeah, who cares? Exactly.
right.
That's exactly what you should do. Just close it out because nobody gives a shit.
Yeah. No. Anyway. All right. That's the end of this episode of whatever the fuck we called this thing. And later.